the meantime, we've talked time from time to time about the specter hanging over us of the central bank digital currencies. Digital currencies are here to stay, whether it be Bitcoin or whatever. And so there's been an effort in the Florida legislature. I don't know if it's going to go anywhere this year, given what's going on up there now. But that would be to have an alternate currency here in the state of Florida, one based in or on gold. Well, it's already kind of happening anyway. And Watchmen Action, they're always in on everything. It's relevant going on with this sort of thing. And so R.C. Williams is here with us tonight to announce their merger with Goldback. So, R.C., thanks for being with us tonight.
Chris, it's great to be on, man. Happy birthday to you. We had a great time last night. By the way, before we get started, can I get my Super Bowl pick in?
Well, you can, yeah.
All right, so Eagles 37, Kansas City 31. There is certainly Chiefs burnout with the NFL. I think the Eagles make a go of it this time. While I'm not necessarily an Eagles fan, I am more of an Eagles fan than I am a Chiefs fan. So 37-31, Philly. They pour it on at the end and they win the game. Okay, got that part out of the way.
All right, so tell us, thank you. Eagles 37, Chiefs 31. All right, what is Goldback? Who is that?
Yeah, Chris. So this is exciting. You know, you've known us long enough, and we've talked a lot about the power of the parallel economy, right? Nobody is saying that, completely get out of fiat, that should all go away. But what we are saying is that there should be practical alternatives. So what the team at Goldback has done is they've come up with something unique. What they've done is they've created gold notes that look like regular dollars, and they're in various denominations. So they are basically voluntary currency. As Jeremy Cordone, the CEO of Goldback, says, he's like, we've turned gold into money. So it's another way to secure wealth and another way to work in the parallel economy. So if you were to trade and barter, something like that, Goldback is another way for you to practically pay for something that you want to buy from someone else who's willing to accept it. So there are a couple of denominations, Chris, and Florida is actually the seventh state where Goldbacks have launched. That happened recently, obviously. But the CEO of Goldback is so convinced that Florida is going to be the state that leads a parallel economy revolution. He moved from Utah to Florida to help speed it up and make it happen. So, Chris, in essence, what we have is another form in the parallel economy or another method of exchange. The good news on top of that news is that as you acquire Goldbacks, as the price of gold increases, so does the value of your Goldback. You can get a half Goldback, which we'll get to in a second with the free Goldback giveaway, all the way up to a 100 Goldback. Not only are they great looking, right, they're beautiful pieces, they actually have an intrinsic value that is just like owning gold.
Is it like paper currency, like a dollar bill would be? And is there actual gold thread in it or something?
Great question, Chris. So there is actually gold in there, and it's a polymer, so it's not paper. It's almost like a really solid foil. And within that, they have a patented system that they use to make these Goldbacks. And when people go to the site, they actually show the process of how they do it. But each note, Chris, actually contains gold. So, for example, the half Goldback is actually 1/2000th of an ounce of gold. If you were to melt it down, and if people go on YouTube, they'll see videos of people that have taken Goldbacks, melted them down. The gold is actually in there. So they do it fractionally. This is also a great way, Chris, because the price of gold continues to increase over the last 24 hours. It's gone up. For people who can't afford it by the ounce, it is a great way to stack gold fractionally, to have a collector's item that gains in value, and then if you want to actually liquidate it, you can do that too and get cash for it. So there's actual gold in each note.
Well, speaking of that, it reminds me of, I forget what it was. United States came out with I don't know what coin it was, what denomination was. Let's say it was $50. and
Yeah.
everybody wanted it. But then they would get them and they would collect them. Now, maybe it was a $2 bill, and they wouldn't use them when they wouldn't actually spend them. Is there any concern because these do actually have gold in them that people will hoard them?
So, Chris, I think it's less about hoarding. You want to collect them, right? Just like you would collect gold. But one of the things that Goldback is doing a good job of, and one of the reasons that they're so bullish on Florida, is that if merchants are willing to accept them and people have them, you can actually use them as a method of exchange. I think what we're going to see, Chris, given the way that the economy goes, President Trump is in, this is great and everything, but they left him with a Trojan horse, right? The economy is going to be bumpy for the next 12 to 18 months. So the good news is that while that is happening, there is yet another method to be able to exchange value. So I think it's less hoarding. I think people are going to collect. But I think as more businesses come on board, if you're a business listening to this, there's great benefit for you accepting the gold back and getting into that system. Chris, I think we're going to see it become a more trusted method of exchange as people figure out what they are, how they work, and how they can be used.
How is Goldback going to get them into the economy? Are they selling them, or did I hear you say that they're the smaller denomination? They're giving them away?
Yeah, Chris. So they actually do sell them. You can buy Goldbacks now. What we're doing is the launch of the free Florida Goldback giveaway. So if people will do this, if they go to WatchmenAction.org, they scroll down the page just a bit, they'll see a button that says, I want my free gold. When they fill out the form, we'll actually send them a free half Goldback note so that you can see how it works, that it's real, that can be used. And then from there, what we found in practice when we share them with someone is one of the first things they ask is, where can I buy more of these? So they can order them directly from goldback.com. There are merchants that also sell them throughout the state. So you can buy them at whatever the value is. For example, as it stands today, I believe that a Florida half Goldback is worth like $2.85. So if you said, hey, I want, one of these, it would cost you $2.85 in fiat. So people can buy them now in all of those denominations. And what we want to do is get people excited. I feel like we're rich Uncle Pennybags from Monopoly in a good way, Chris, where we can actually say, hey, go fill out this form. Let's get you some half Goldback so you can see how they work, and you get excited about using it.
Actually, Pierce just went to your website and pulled it up right here. Yeah, he's showing me. The artwork on it looks pretty nice, too.
I got to say, Chris, some of the most amazing artwork ever. Jeremy, the CEO, has designers on staff that came up with these things. They're beautiful notes, and they have a lot of Florida's history integrated into them. This was one of the things about it, and Jeremy, in spending time with him, he's the type of guy who takes these things extremely serious. He's been very successful. Goldback is a $250 million business. And he's been very successful because he's very focused. And a couple of months ago, we got a chance to see the models that people are seeing now, and we were blown away by them. So, yes, it's great artwork.
And once again, you go to one Goldback is worth $5.41, you're saying? Is that the full Goldback?
Yes.
All right.
That is correct.
All right, and so the half Goldback is worth half that. And now, are there counterfeit preventative measures in these, other than the fact that I presume counterfeit would not have gold in it, but in other words, watermarks or whatever to try to prevent counterfeiting of them?
Yes, great question, Chris. So when people go to goldback.com and they're checking everything out, there's actually a video. They take the time to describe to you the method and how you can't do that, right? They've actually it's pretty painstaking how you make one of these things in order to prevent fraud. So that has not been an issue given the amount of detail, time, and security resources that they put into it. That's not a thing.
Over the last couple of legislative sessions, I think the last one in particular, Florida House Representative Bankson here tried to get, I guess it was a similar thing fashioned into state law. Is this similar to that? And if so, where does this fit into those efforts?
Yeah, Chris. So this is actually complementary to that. So the gold back right now isn't technically quote unquote legal tender. If someone is willing to accept it for payment, you want to give it to them, you can do that, right? What Rep. Bankston was doing, and we actually lobbied with Citizens for Sound Money on the Sound Money Act last year, was to get gold and silver declared legal tender in the state of Florida, which would remove the tax burden, because in the state of Florida, if you make a purchase under $500, you're paying tax on it. We wanted it to be, we wanted to get rid of the tax, and then we wanted to make it fractional and transactional. The logic there is that the state would create its own depository where it was a custodian. The only thing it could do is hold your gold. It would give you a debit card. You could spend your gold like cash, and then whenever you wanted it back, you take your debit card back, they give you your gold, and you're done. Because the state, based on Kevin Freeman's book called Pirate Money, the states can actually mint their own currency if it is gold and silver. So that was the logic. So what happened is we tried to do everything in that bill last year. As you can imagine, up front, it was a great idea. Everybody loved it. As you get into committee, the big bank lobbyists and everybody decided to get their hooks into it. And Senate President Pasadomo tried to kill the bill 4 or 5 times. Short version, we weren't able to get it through. What they did for this cycle is they broke it into a couple of parts. So the 2 goals for this session is to declare it legal tender and get rid of the sales tax. That is a good, solid first step. And based on how we're pacing right now, Juliana and I are pretty confident that with the work Citizens for Sound Money is doing and the work that we're doing, that that's going to happen. What happens with that, Chris, is it empowers the logic of a gold back and gets wider acceptance because people now get that gold and silver are legal tender, and I'm not going to get taxed on it like it was a collectible.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that things like that, good ideas like that, don't get somehow washed out because of the feud that's going on in Tallahassee right now. Pierce, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm looking at this, and I know that China has been buying up gold like unbelievably as their economy has drifted into recession due mainly to bad real estate loans over there. Is there any way that these goldbacks are going to be traded like on a secondary market where the value goes up and down like a commodity, like actual gold does when you've got governments buying it all up at a blistering pace?
Pierce, this is such a great question. Right now, I'm not sure, but I think to some degree, as people look for ways to preserve wealth, that you may find something like that. And this is one of the reasons that Jeremy believed Florida was the place to plant the flag. And this is why the opportunity with us doing the free gold back giveaway is so important. Because the faster that people get educated, the faster they understand what the market opportunities are. Our hope in the scenario that you've mentioned, although we don't know exactly where it will go, is that people will be able to stack them, in essence, like they would gold or silver, and then begin to use them in a parallel economy. The demand is created, and then all of a sudden, you've made a people-powered market, so to speak. But it is controlled in a positive way, and people are gaining from that system.
And I believe the Goldback website is goldback.com, and is it linked up with watchmenaction.com, or I'm sorry, .org?
Yeah, so Chris, what we want people to do, we want to get them the free gold back first. They're welcome to go check out everything gold back, but what we want them to do is go to watchmenaction.org, and they'll see the button that says, give me my free gold back. When they click through on that, it'll take them to the free gold back sign-up page. You put in your information, make sure we've got your email address and your physical address. You hit submit, and then in 2 to 4 weeks, they'll send you a half gold back in the mail. So here's the good news about that, by the way, Chris, is that Goldback believes in the mission of Watchmen Action. So the more free Goldbacks we can get into people's hands, the more that Goldback is going to support Watchmen Action. It allows us to fundraise as a nonprofit while giving something to people, which is why I said I feel like a good version of Rich Uncle Pennybags from Monopoly with my bag of money, just giving it out to everybody.
Is there a limit on how many you're going to give away, or a time limit on when people can do it?
So 1 per person is the logic. Timeline right now is open. Jeremy at the team at Goldback, they're in alignment with us. They want to get as many of these in the hands of as many people in the state of Florida as possible. I would encourage people to go ahead and get it done, but there is nothing on the horizon right now that says we have a stop date for doing it.
By the way, this we just got a text. Does this violate the Constitution, which prohibits the states from coining money? Is that what is being talked about here, or is this something different than that?
So this is a great question. I kind of talked about this a minute ago. The states are actually allowed to mint their own currency as long as it is gold and silver. This doesn't violate it because this is private and it's not legal tender. What we're trying to do with the Sound Money Act is get it lifted on all gold and silver and say, no, it is legal tender. It doesn't violate the Constitution. Now, if you go around trying to print Florida dollars, fiat currency, yeah, you're going to get in trouble. But every state in the Constitution, I believe it's Article 6, Section 2, the states have the right to mint their own currency as long as it's gold and silver, and that has case law tested at the Supreme Court level, where the Supreme Court sided with the people and said, no, the states have a right to do this. It is constitutionally guaranteed.
All right. So you go to Watchmen, that is in plural, MEN, watchmenaction.org, and look for the give me my, what is it again? Give me my gold, or
Give me my free gold back.
Give me my free gold back. Click on that. You'll put in your address and the like, and they'll send you one. You said it'll get it in 2 to 4 weeks?
That is correct, sir.
All right.
And it seems like at the very worst, it's a great inflation hedge against both states' action and the federal government debasing the currency, which is basically what inflation is.
Yeah, no doubt about
Amen
it.
to that, Pierce.
All right, very good, RC. Well, congratulations, and I'll look forward to getting my gold back, half gold back, that is. All right, thank you so much. What a great idea. All right.
Appreciate you guys.
You got it. Watchmenaction.org, okay? And check it out.